In this episode of A Mortal's Journey to Immortality, Han Li once again shows why he's feared across the cultivation world. With his unmatched skill and calm precision, he crushes Tong Lao and Gui Lao in seconds, captures Lu Yu alive, and even subdues the legendary six-winged frost centipede. But that's not all. Secrets of the Yuling sect's insect control arts begin to unfold, and Han Li's mysterious compassion toward Han Yunji leaves fans wondering, what is he really planning? In the bustling city of Jing, Han Li quietly stood at a vantage point, his gaze distant, reminiscing about the past and the ever-changing world around him. But that moment of calm didn't last long. In the next instant, his great evolution spiritual sense suddenly spread out like a vast net, and he instantly detected several cultivators tailing him from over 200 miles away. Han Li's eyes narrowed slightly, a faint smile curling at the corner of his lips as he muttered, looks like a few little mice need to be dealt with." Those mice were none other than Lu Yu and Han Yunji of the Yuling sect, who had been secretly following him all this way. They were confident in their sect's unique secret art, the spiritual infant sensing technique, certain that no one could notice their tracking. The art could sense a nascent soul's spiritual infant across distances far beyond the normal detection range of an ordinary Yuanian cultivator. They truly thought they were safe. But as the group debated why their target had suddenly stopped at Jiyuan City, something unexpected happened. Han Li, who had been stationary, suddenly began moving straight toward them, fast. Lu Yu's expression changed instantly. Wait, could it be that the person we're following is a late-stage nascent soul monster? Her words sent chills down everyone's spines. Panic spread through the group, and without hesitation, they activated their escape technique, the Lingi art, a movement skill so fast it could rival early nascent soul cultivators. They darted toward the nearest ghost spirit sect branch, hoping to find refuge under its protective formation. They dared not confront Han Li directly. Their only plan was to hide and pray the ghost spirit sect's influence could stall whoever was after them. But no matter how fast they ran, the presence behind them only drew closer. Han Yunji's face turned pale. "Junior sister, what should we do? We can't get away." Just then, a patrol team from the ghost spirit sect appeared on the path ahead, led by none other than Tong Lao and Gui Lao, two powerful elders under Wang Quan himself. In that moment of desperation, Lu Yu's mind raced, and she quickly transmitted her voice to Han Yunji. "Hold them here. Let them intercept the one chasing us. We'll use them to buy time." But the ghost spirit sect cultivators weren't so easily fooled. As the two groups crossed paths, Tong Lao's sharp voice cut through the wind. "Why haven't you reported your presence in our sect's territory? Your movements are highly suspicious." Before Lu Yu could reply, the oppressive aura of a nascent soul cultivator swept over them. Even Tong Lao and Gui Lao felt their hearts seize in terror. Gui Lao cursed loudly, "Damn it! It's a Yuanian cultivator. You brought this thing to us? Do you want us all dead?" Tong Lao didn't hesitate. "Scatter! Run for your lives!" In a heartbeat, the Ghost Spirit sect and Yuling sect disciples split up, fleeing in all directions. Lu Yu clenched her teeth in frustration. "Useless ghost spirit fools. I wanted them to stall that nascent soul monster, and now they've just run off." Still, even a short delay was better than nothing. She and her fellow disciples fled with all their strength. A streak of thunder split through the sky. Han Li's wind and thunder wings shimmered into existence as he descended like a divine storm. He landed precisely at the point where both groups had just parted ways, but everyone was already gone. With a flicker of cold intent in his eyes, Han Li activated his great evolution technique once more, instantly locking onto every escaping aura. 17 of you, scattering in all directions. Do you think I'm too busy to deal with all of you?" He gave a quiet snort and vanished. Tong Lao, relying on his wind and fire escape technique, thought he had already gotten far enough. He even smirked, believing his speed could rival that of a nascent soul cultivator. But in the blink of an eye, a shadow appeared before him. Han Li looked at him with a faint smile. "Oh, you actually managed to run this far? Allow me to give you a lift." Before Tong Lao could even react, Han Li's hand shot out, gripping his throat like iron. Tong Lao's face turned pale with terror. "Wait, I'm a disciple of the soul-breaking immortal, guardian to the young master of the ghost spirit sect." Han Li's expression didn't change. "No need to introduce yourself. I remember you." Tong Lao's eyes widened in disbelief. "Impossible!" With a casual squeeze, Han Li crushed him into ashes. The once proud late Jindan cultivator was erased in an instant. Han Li then plucked the spirit-gourd magic weapon from the remains, his mind recalling the past. Tong Lao, one of Wang Chan's lackeys who had chased Nangong Wan near the Yanjiabao mine. Every one of Wang Chan's people deserves death. Meanwhile, Gui Lao, who had been fleeing in another direction, suddenly felt a cold dread creeping up his spine. What? How could this be? Does this nascent soul cultivator not fear the ghost spirit sect's wrath? Is the Heavenly Alliance declaring war? I have to report this to the sect master. I have to survive. But before he could finish his frantic muttering, a chilling laugh echoed behind him. Ha, you actually ran faster than the other one. Gui Lao froze, his voice trembling. Senior, let's talk this out, shall we? Han Li's calm voice replied, talk nicely? I didn't know your sect had such traditions. In a flash, Han Li appeared, his gold-devouring insect spear slicing through the air, piercing straight through Gui Lao's chest. The old ghost's body turned to ash before he could even scream. The golden insects swarmed greedily, devouring Gui Lao's magic weapon to nothingness. Their strength had grown terrifyingly powerful, able even to consume refined spiritual tools. Yet Han Li frowned slightly. Despite their power, his current insect-controlling technique was still lacking. If only he had stronger methods. For Tong Lao and Gui Lao, their deaths were pitiful. After struggling for centuries to reach Lake Jindan, they were snuffed out in seconds. Nothing more than collateral in Han Li's path. Knowing the ghost spirit sect's nascent soul elders might investigate, Han Li decided not to linger. He would leave no trace, and the sect would be too cautious to start a war over mere Jindan cultivators. But one more target remained, Han Yunji. When Han Li turned his gaze toward her direction, the air trembled. In a heartbeat, several of her fellow Yuling sect disciples fell dead, pierced clean through by gold insect spears. Han Yunji, realizing the spiritual connection to her comrades had been severed, felt a wave of dread. 4 of them, gone just like that? I underestimated this nascent soul monster. She regretted not joining forces with the ghost spirit sect earlier, but it was far too late for that. With a thunderous roar, Han Li's wind and thunder wings flared once more. In an instant, he crossed miles of space, appearing right before her. The blinding radiance of lightning filled the air, followed by a crack like the heavens splitting apart. A single Yuaning-level thunder strike blasted Han Yunji backward, sending her flying several miles, before being caught midair by Han Li himself. At this moment, Han Yunji's mind was in complete chaos. Everything that had happened was beyond her comprehension. 1 second she was facing certain death before a terrifying nascent soul cultivator, the next, darkness took her. Han Li had quietly used the dream-pulling technique, instantly putting her to sleep. Then, with no hesitation or lingering emotion, he laid her gently under a tree before turning and leaving the scene. When Han Yunji finally woke up, she found herself lying on the cold ground. Her spirit beast mount was still unconscious beside her. Looking around in confusion, she frowned deeply. That's strange. I wasn't injured. My storage bag is still here. Nothing's been taken? She clenched her fists. What's going on? Did that man know me? But that was impossible. Other than the founder of her Yuling sect, she had never met any other nascent soul cultivators. Then, checking her Reiki wheel, she suddenly realized something horrifying. Lu Yu's coordinates had vanished completely. That could only mean one thing. Lu Yu had met a tragic end. Heart-pounding, Han Yunji quickly woke her mount and fled into the distance, terrified of what kind of being she had just encountered. Back in the sky, Han Li's calm voice echoed beside Inu. Every time I see that woman, I can't help but think of my little sister. Inu looked up curiously. Master, do you know that female cultivator? Han Li said nothing. He didn't want to think too much about it. Ironically, when Han Yunji woke up, her first instinct had been to check not for injury or stolen treasures, but to make sure she hadn't been violated. In the cruel world of cultivation, female cultivators often feared not death, but humiliation, captured, used as furnaces, or turned into playthings by demonic cultivators. There was no dignity for women in this ruthless path to immortality. Sometime later, Han Li captured Lu Yu alive, along with the 6-winged frost centipede. When he returned holding her in his arms, Inu couldn't help teasing with a smirk. Congratulations, Master. You're truly blessed today. Could it be you've taken a liking to this woman? Han Li glared and snapped. Enough nonsense. You think I'd keep her alive because of interest? No, she has something I need. But she won't live long. A few hours earlier, The battle between Han Li and Lu Yu had shaken the icy lake beneath them. Lu Yu had desperately summoned her strongest spirit insect, an icy creature that turned the entire lake surface into frozen glass in seconds. Han Li's eyes widened slightly. So it's true, that's the 18th ranked insect on the spiritual insect list, the six-winged frost centipede. The creature's 6 translucent wings spread wide as it released freezing air, lunging toward Han Li. But Han Li only raised his right hand, gathering his spiritual power into the evil-repelling divine thunder. Blue-white lightning coiled around his fingertips, forming a crackling thunderball net that instantly trapped the frost centipede midair. At the same time, a flash of light burst forth. A nascent soul-level spiritual shock blasted straight into Lu Yu's consciousness. She collapsed onto the ice, unconscious. The trapped frost centipede was sealed inside Han Li's treasure box in the next breath. Lu Yu had known from the start that she couldn't possibly defeat Han Li. Then why release the frost centipede at all? Why risk it? In truth, she wasn't foolish. The 6-winged frost centipede was a priceless ancient spiritual insect, rumored to carry traces of ice dragon blood. A fully matured one could cover hundreds of miles in frost, freezing even nascent soul experts in seconds. Lu Yu wasn't trying to kill Han Li, she was trying to leave a mark. By using the frost's unique aura as a signal, she hoped to alert the Yuling sect's distant elders. But she underestimated Han Li's caution. The moment he sensed her intent, he erased every trace of that mark from the battlefield, leaving nothing behind. Still, instead of killing Lu Yu on the spot, Han Li chose to spare her, but not out of mercy. He wanted the Yuling sect's insect-controlling technique, and Lu Yu was the key. The frost centipede had already recognized her as its master. To fully claim such a powerful spiritual insect, Han Li needed to forcefully seize control through their sect's secret method. So, he carried Lu Yu's unconscious body and took off toward the Luoyun sect. As he flew, Han Li's thoughts drifted back through his years as a mortal cultivator. The very first nascent soul expert he'd ever met was Elder Ling Hu of Yellow Maple Valley. Back then, Han Li was merely a Foundation establishment disciple, and Ling Hu wouldn't have bothered to harm him, but betrayal came all the same. Ling Hu sold him out to the Yunlu Patriarch, forcing Han Li to flee for his life. By sheer luck, he escaped to the Chaos Star Sea, where his true trials began. There, he encountered countless nascent soul cultivators, the terrifying Jin Patriarch, the merciless demonic barbarian Beard, the mysterious Qing Yi lay Buddhist, Wan Sangu, and others of both righteous and demonic paths. Even righteous cultivators like Wan Tianming, Tian Wuzi, and Mu Fujiko proved that righteous didn't always mean merciful. Han Li, though seemingly ordinary, survived through sheer adaptability and cunning. His blood jade spider, imperial scale armor, and wolfhead jade rui saved him countless times, even from the deadly sun-piercing sword of Shingong Jia. Later, he was forced to become a disciple of the great Yin Patriarch just to stay alive. In the Chaos Star Sea, Han Li's wood-attribute spiritual power even aided the powerful demon Feng Shi in refining the wind and thunder wings, allowing him to gain a crucial ally. He managed to pluck companion grass from Chiyuan Island, slay Yun Tianshao on Nanli Island, and narrowly escape death from Yao Hejinren of the Biyun sect, an early nascent soul cultivator who could kill Jindan monks in minutes. Through cunning deception, Han Li used Feng Shi to draw Miaohe away and escaped through a teleportation array, leaving the Chaos Star Sea behind. After countless near-death encounters, Han Li finally returned to Tianen, settling in the Luoyun sect under the Heavenly Dao Alliance. He passed their sect trials, entered the Spirit Eye Tree, and even met the nascent soul cultivator Fire Dragon Boy of the Ancient Sword sect. This time, Han Li no longer needed to live in fear. No longer a pawn or a fugitive, he was now one of the powerful. In terms of escapability, no one in Tianan or the Chaos Star Sea could match Han Li. Compared to Tong Lao, Gui Lao, Lu Yu, and Han Yunji, his mastery over evasion arts was leagues beyond. With his ancient blood-colored cloak, wind and thunder wings, chi condensation art, and the invisibility veil, Han Li had turned survival into an art form. That's why he was called Han Pao Pao, the man who could flee from anything and live to tell the tale. In the end, as Lu Luo once said, all those below the nascent soul stage are ants. A nascent soul cultivator can crush a core formation cultivator with a single move. Whether righteous or demonic, sects are merely tools, resources for the strong to harvest. Han Li silently agreed. In this world of cultivation, there were no heroes, no villains, only survivors. And he, Han Li, had become the calm storm that swept across them all.